Hello and welcome to ProtoMet's First Impressions, where I give my thoughts on the first episode of any new tokusatsu show. And today, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the first episode of Kyusei Sentai Wakuseiber, which, despite the title, has nothing to do with the Super Sentai series. Not that you could really tell the difference by looking at it, because it totally looks like it's from the Super Sentai series. This not Super Sentai show is created by Giga Company Limited, which I will talk about later. It's a very interesting thing about that. For anybody who does know, please don't leave any comments spoiling the surprise. I will get to that soon enough, but for the rest of you who aren't aware, you'll have to be in suspense. Now, as far as the first episode is concerned, it's not that great. It's short at only around 12 minutes, not episodes. What? At around 12 minutes, it's pretty short, and based on the fact that the second episode, which is now up, is also around 10 minutes, I'm guessing all the episodes are going to be pretty short, which is not necessarily a good thing, since the show is already going to be short, with only 5 episodes released online, a 6th episode released on DVD, and then another special will be released later. But more on that in a bit. So, what happens in the first episode? Not a whole lot. We get to see the main heroes fighting the villains' grunts. We get a brief introduction to the villains, Gides, who apparently these are guys who consider themselves gods, traveling all throughout the universe and destroying planets after collecting as much data as they can on them in an attempt to gather data or DNA to try and turn themselves into the ultimate life forms. So, kinda like what Mess from Flashman were doing. And looking at the villains, they certainly look like they could come from a Super Sentai season. Although, admittedly, one of the villains seems to be a bit more scantily dressed compared to what you would expect even from the Showa era, but whatever. This is a clean show. Don't get any naughty ideas. This is a clean show. This is for the whole family. So, we get introduced to the grunts, who aren't named in this episode. We get introduced to the three leaders of the organization, or at least the 3 generals. Can't remember their names offhand. They don't really leave much of an impact outside of, showing up. And this episode kind of cuts between the team's, I assume, first fight with Gides, but also, for a second there I forgot if I had actually said the title of this show. Where am I? But it cuts between the team's apparent first fight with Gides and the Pink Ranger recruiting the Red Ranger, which has something to do with a crystal the crystal that the Red Ranger got from his father, which apparently glowed when he was looking through a telescope, and apparently then like a plush bunny showed up along with the Pink Ranger to recruit him, and basically she provides an info dump not only for the Red but also for the audience, so that we know what's going on, even though at the beginning of the episode a narrator kind of explained the situation. But I guess she's there to provide a bit more of an explanation. So it keeps cutting back between the recruitment and the team's first fight, and at the very end of the episode, the team transforms into their hero forms, which look very much like they could come from a Super Sentai season, and prepare to face off against the 3 generals, and that's it. The action is not the best I've seen. I've certainly seen worse. what immediately springs to mind is the bad action that appears in the Chinese Armor Hero show that I watched and did a review on over on Gamezilla way back when. It reminds me of that, and that one was pretty weak when it came to the action. And this is, and Wakuseiber, the action is better than that, but not by a whole lot. So I kind of feel like this series is going to wind up being a pretty low priority for me, but I'm still going to keep watching because, well, A, it's only 5 episodes, plus a 6th coming out on DVD, or whatever, and the episodes are clearly going to be pretty short, so I can't really say that I'm expecting a whole lot until that special that I mentioned earlier, and I think now it's time for me to talk about what Giga Company specializes in. You see, Giga Company is a company that makes videos that are tokusatsu heroine-themed pornos. And that special that's coming out, it's apparently going to be a porno. Like, I had literally never heard of this show, and when I found out about that the show existed, that was also what I found out, that they were going to not only make 6 episodes that apparently are going to be incredibly family-friendly, meaning no offensive content, but then they're going to follow it up with a porno. And part of me was kind of morbidly curious to see if any indication of that would show up in the first episode, and honestly, the closest it gets is the aforementioned skimpy outfit that one of the villains has, which still covers up quite a bit, but it's a bit more revealing than I would expect from something even from Showa era Super Sentai. Now, granted, Toei has been actually releasing quite a few pieces of spin-off media for their tokusatsu shows that are a bit more adult-oriented, but those are clearly stuff intended for adults, and you'd really have to seek it out and be paying attention, so I assume kids wouldn't even be the wiser unless they were actually paying attention. But none of them would go as far as to be just a straight-up porno. Now, like I said, the show is completely safe for work, and in fact, I'm actually going to provide a link to the first episode in the description of this video, because honestly, despite the fact that I'm actually subscribed to the channel and they've got the first 2 episodes up already, neither of them actually popped up in my subscription feed. In fact, it was actually this morning that the 2nd episode released, and as far as I'm aware, the only thing that even went to my subscription feed after subscribing to the channel was a trailer, which I didn't even watch. So I don't know. So keep an eye on the channel for episodes. I can't really say I'd recommend it, because it is, it's less than basic, I feel. Like even though this episode was dedicated to the recruitment of the Red Ranger by the Pink Ranger, and thus those 2 are mainly the focus of the episode, I still know next to nothing about them. So I'm expecting this to just be pretty bare bones. Not expecting great things. Until that porno comes out, that is. So, until next time, this has been me, ProtoMet. See ya.